Today I'm having a great guest here. I'm having Pedro Goes from InEvent, and Pedro is currently the CEO of InEvent. Actually, it's nicely enough a Y Combinator venture-backed company providing an event marketing and sales platform for the Forbes 2000 global companies, right? And that includes companies like Coca-Cola, Amazon, KPMG, Santander. I mean, I can just going on. Unilever, Boeing is a lot of interesting companies that they're working with. So previously, Pedro started a company in college even before that. So there's a lot of insights he can draw from, where he had more than 10,000 monthly active paying users, right? So he's a Y Combinator alumni, as I mentioned, 40 under 40 founder by the Association magazine and a UK Event Tech Award winner. Wow, there is a lot of credentials on the table here. So Pedro, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lucas. It's very, very good to be here and to be able to connect today and talk a little bit about InEvent. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, maybe just dive into it. Like maybe tell me a little bit about InEvent in your own words. What is it all about?
So InEvent is a virtual and hybrid platform that allows event managers, marketing managers around the globe to be able to connect and host a very creative and intuitive experience on our virtual lobby. So instead of having to just have one call with someone using video conferencing, you can actually use our software to be able to connect multiple people in multiple meetings at a given time with a single platform where you have video streaming, video conferencing, multiple recording, video capabilities, all out of the box. Yes.
Wow, very interesting. And maybe could you give me an idea who would be like typically using that? You mentioned marketeers already, but is that like typical types of event managers, or who would be the typical user?
Yeah, so we have a very good portfolio across 3 different regions. So we have a lot of agencies that use our solution to present to their customers when they're producing a show, when they're producing an event. Mm-hmm. We also work with the large enterprise companies, Fortune 2000 companies. They will be able to host the software for their internal meetings, also for their end of the year meeting with customer events is also a very frequent use case that we have. And finally, associations. Associations, they have to put out these events to their members. Mm-hmm. So they use a lot of event solutions, and InEvent supplies most of them worldwide.
That's very awesome. So that everybody who is listening in can get a bit of an idea about the background of InEvent. Maybe could you tell me something interesting about the company? Maybe, I don't know, how many clients you're having, how many visitors to the page, maybe a prize that you've won, like something that would be a little bit unique to the company.
Yes, one thing that's really nice is that we are a remote company and we are inclusive and diverse in every single sense of the word. Like we have people from all different backgrounds. We have people working in all different countries. So this week we hired someone from Turkey that has been traveling, and now she's going to be providing like event services, and that's really nice. It's nice to see that we are an inclusive company. So we are bringing people from all these backgrounds, and everyone can work from the company to provide services to our customers. So that's something that we like to share as part of being in a company in 2020. Yeah.
Very cool. You mentioned you're working a lot with agencies, but also the associations, so very different types of businesses. How would you describe your sort of top client acquisition channels? How does that look like when the clients are of so various nature?
Yeah, we really love to work with our customers because when we make them happy, they also become happy and they want to refer to other colleagues. So something in an event that we see a lot is that someone that uses the platform for their first event, they get really excited and they say, I'm going to recommend to my Slack group, to my meeting conference, to my LinkedIn group. So they go and broadcast about InEvent. Like they want to refer InEvent to a lot of their peers. Mm-hmm. So it's something that we see that word of mouth is really strong at InEvent. It's one of the main channels that we have is like people just intro InEvent and they just want to refer the company. Mm-hmm. And also we have asked a lot on SEO. So if you search for specific features in our industry, like virtual event, broadcasting software, or virtual events, and you're going to find InEvent as one of the top pages. And we have content on the platform that allows you to very quickly create your template. You can start using for your use case, and you'll be able to start already working and deploying your event. So that automates the life of our customers. We will make them to look good and to quickly get to host their events. Yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned SEO there. How would you describe the role of the website for the client acquisition?
I think the website's one of the main channels of communication. sometimes people try to minimize the website as just one landing page. I think it's hard to do that. We saw that there are so many channels. Like today, if we on our CRM, we have a inbound source channel field that we use to categorize where people are coming from. So because sometimes the automated tools do not provide that to you. So we see that we have today over 15 different options. So sometimes people are coming from like a third party, like App Exchange on Salesforce. Sometimes people came from referrals, sometimes because of an email, sometimes because people download something from the blog. Sometimes they reply to an email from our HubSpot account on the CRM. Sometimes they have someone that just went to the website and pick a date on the calendar. Sometimes they just filled the form saying like I want to be contacted by sales. So there are so many different things that you can do on the company side that you really need to be open to the world and be able to customers to contact you any way that they can to optimize conversions.
Makes sense. Right now, speaking about the website there, right now, what would you think is the major strength of the site? Like, is it the ability to convert, as you mentioned, just conversions? Is it the quality of the leads that are coming through? Is it the experience that you can provide? Where do you see sort of a strength of the website for the business?
I think it's the richness of content. I think it's the ability for you to quickly find what you want with things that you're able to visually see and visually understand. So some websites, when you're talking about, like, everyone understands that you have what's an email is, right? And then you have a picture of an email and everything. But if you want to dive in and say, like, do you support custom integrations with the domain, right? So these features usually you have to go dig in like some FAQ that's outdated. So that's usually what happens. But with InEvent, like all these features are very easy to understand, and you have everything with videos on the platform. Mm-hmm. We have extensive documented all of them with over 150 videos. So that's one of the main differences. Like people really see what's going to be look like very quickly.
Very nice. And now I have to ask you then, sort of on the other side, what do you think would be, where is some room for improvement for the website? Maybe conversion rate or user experience, like where do you see some room for improvement?
I think there's always an opportunity to be more direct to the customer. Sometimes people drop on the website and they're like, I just want to be able to find this conference about pharmaceutical companies that was hosted in the East Coast of here in America. So you want to very quickly get to this, and sometimes you need to search different pages to go to this specific use case. So I think optimizing the funnel so you can actually go to exactly what you're looking for your use case. I think that's going to be also an improvement. Yeah.
Interesting. And is there something that you have already been doing and working on, sort of optimizing that funnel?
Yeah, we have a team of over 15 people on the company that just work on the website. So these are improvements that we make every day on the platform, to upload new videos, to upload new pages, to connect and to update the SEO to be able to optimize a specific thing that we have found. So it's an everyday thing that we work on to be able to push those things to the website. Yeah.
Very cool. So let's come back to the product, right? So for everybody who is listening in and is still sort of forming a picture of InEvent, what would you say to them is the sort of the main competitive advantage of the product?
So the main competitive advantage is, so today the main thing that we see is that people are using video conferencing platforms to be able to connect to each other. Mm-hmm. But those platforms are usually limited. So you only have a way to connect either one-on-one or a group of people that's limited. So if you want to have, for example, a meeting that's going to be more than one person talking to each other. So if you have like two people talking, but in parallel conversations, you cannot do that with video conferencing. Like you have to create multiple links, and you have to go back to the platform, click on another link to go to the next meeting. And if you want to find a reference document, there is no like single repository to find everything. And then if you want to put your brand, like there is no way to put your brand. So what InEvent has created is this space where you can have everything in a very clean layout, and then you can pick those different things, these different items, and use them to create your virtual experience in a single platform. Yeah.
I think that summarizes it really well. And if we would look behind the curtain a little bit of InEvent, how would be the sales team and the marketing team structured? Like, how do they work together?
Yeah, so the sales and marketing team, they're really optimized for our conversion using inbound channels.
Mhm.
So what we want people to do is actually use our platforms like the website, the social media and everything to be able to get to the website, create something already using our free trial, which is available for 30 days.
Mhm.
And then from there, they're able to go to a sales call, but they already know about the product. Like they already know what they're going to ask about. Not necessarily just go to the call and say like, I don't know anything. Can you please explain to me? But they already come with the questions, with the answers that they want to know, and we're able to very quickly um, allow them to get value from our call. Yeah.
We talk in the show quite a little bit about the work of marketing and sales together. Could you describe like how a lead would be sort of traveling, like they're coming to the website, they might be, as you mentioned, sign up through any of the many means that you have on the website. What happens then?
Yeah, so marketing is what we call automated sales. You have to be able to do what a salesperson is going to do, like here and explain your software through screen sharing. And you need to automate that. Create a landing page that's going to allow them to find exactly the information that a salesperson could do, but without a salesperson. So we're always trying to do that. We're always trying to use sales as a way to figure out what customers are requiring. And then when we find something that's really popular, we push this to marketing so marketing can automate this, create a report, create a new landing page, create a new video, different assets, but they all come from feedback that we got from customers on the sales call. Yeah.
Very interesting. Cool. I would love to switch gears a little bit and learn more about you as a person, as a leader in the company. Maybe can you tell me like what type of content do you consume? Like how do you educate yourself?
Yeah, so I like to get media. Like I'm a follower of a few blogs on the platform. I mostly like to read a couple of books that are recommended, especially around strategy. My mother is a big fan of telling me like, Pedro, you need to learn different things,
Mhm.
not just things that are like not just math and things that are exact, but you should try to get ideas that are very different from yours, because then you can rethink your own thoughts based on a different view. So this critical way of thinking, I think, has been really helpful to, even if something that you don't agree, you just read to understand, but you'll be able to make, more definitive thoughts later.
So should I imagine you really taking the time then to go into the books, right? Going through the books?
Yes, read through the books, and also I think incorporating language. I think these days everything is it's kind of polarizing the day, like with social media and everything. So trying to understand what the other person is saying on their own view, I think sometimes is also beneficial to you to actually understand what you're actually proposing, right? So books that come to a different view, or things that people that influence you in a positive way, you should read books from them and learn. Not just stay on videos, but also use books as a way of thought, even after you have graduated and everything, because people don't read so much after they have graduated from college.
Very good, very good. Since we're already actually coming slowly to the end of the interview, I would love to jump into our rapid fire questions. It's usually, a couple of short questions, short and crisp, and a couple of short and crisp answers. You ready for those?
I know that'll be great. Yeah.
Okay, so we're actually going to start right on the topic. So what's the last book that you read?
So the last book was was one the background story of airline in South America. They were the first one to actually have transatlantic flights going outside of South America to Europe. Um, and it's really nice. It was nice to see the difference between how the U.S. developed and they were able to connect to Europe, and how South America did that uh, years later. So that was the last book that I read about this company. Yeah.
Okay. If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be one thing that you would wanted to have fixed for your company today?
Um, I think being able to be everywhere, and be able to hire people that would have been something that I would have done earlier in our company. We have started to hire people from all over the world just this year, and we have been in business for 7. So that was something that if technology would enable us, and not just to be in the office, because before we were in the office most of the time,
Yeah,
I would have done that before if we could have been remote earlier.
very cool. What's the one single thing that the company is focused on the most at the moment?
Oh, the final user experience, how the platform looks for for the customer, how the customer feels about the product, how the look and feel of them makes the customer feel. You know, like you feel good. Like how do you think that how cool is this? How proud are you of the product that you're using? You know, so these things are really important. The look and feel of the experience, and get a lot of customer feedback on that. So we're improving a lot on our customer tools and designs to be able to supply those templates to our customers.
Okay. What's the last thing that kept you awake at night about the company?
I think this like with COVID, a lot of companies have been able to grow a lot. Some companies have, you know, most of the companies have not been able to even keep the bills, like with a lot of layoffs in our industry. So I think it's all about how can we leverage this to help others and use this in a positive way. I think that's one thing that's a challenge. You know, sometimes like we are not certain of the future, so we need to be thinking about how is the industry going to survive and what can we do today to be able to set this in a positive way forward. Yeah, so these are the things that I keep thinking about, like create new value, create new growth for the company.
Very last question. If today would be the first day, right? You starting to, start a company, it's the first day you're being a founder for InEvent, what would be one advice that you would give yourself?
Oh, it's a ride. Like you never gonna know what's gonna happen next. And if people think, oh, it's gonna be like I'm going to be successful in X amount of years, like you have no idea what's going on, what's gonna happen. If that's going to be like one day you may get like a compliment from a very big CEO of a very big company and close $1 million deal. The other day you can be in hell because your server is not working for something. So up and downs every day on the platform, and that's the thrill of being an entrepreneur. So if you're going to start a company, that's you should be prepared for it.
Maybe one follow up to this one. What do you recommend founders, like how to sort of deal with that up and downs? Like what is something that is helping you through that journey?
I think I need to be emotionally conscious of that. Like not try to be. If something is really really good, at least by myself, I don't try to be like crazily excited because I know that. And the same thing happens if something really, really bad is happening. I try not to be too depressed. I just try to be, it's a problem. I try to work on it and solve this problem. But I try to keep, emotions to be leveled to a certain degree and to be able to go more steady through the many years that you're going to be working on the company.
Very insightful, Pedro. I really appreciate that you took the time with us today to be on Pathwalk Presents. I want to give you the last word, actually. If somebody would forget anything from this interview, what would be the one thing that they should remember about InEvent?
Like if I can say something, it's all about like try to be inclusive and diverse. Try to be working with people all over the world. Use technology in that favor. And if someone doesn't allow you to do that, try to push this forward and still feel like we are proud of being a diverse company, to be a global company from people all over the world. So that's the main message that I would like to share.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot for being part of the show.
Nice. Thanks.